Yesterday, Rockstar released 3 brand new game modes for the Halloween season inside of GTA Online called Deathmatch, Lost, Drop Dead, and Suck It Up. All of these game modes are in typical GTA Online fashion added and are probably going to be forgotten about within the next week or so. Now, I'd love to sit here and report to you that these game modes are the next coming of Christ and are just as good as Assault on Cyber Rico. Sadly, it is suffering the same thing as per usual, which is the adversary mode virus, where the gameplay is unbalanced and there is a lot of things that are just simply wrong with it, and it's just kind of baffling to me why that was never thought of to begin with. So we should probably start off with Drop Dead. Now, Drop Dead is nice. It's it's an infected game mode. It really fits the whole Halloween theme, and the concept itself, of course, we've seen in different game modes before, like for example in Call of Duty. The concept is pretty simple. It can be a bit of fun, especially with a bunch of friends, but there's just like one major thing that I really wonder is that why is there so little ammo? Like, if you look at the weapon wheel, I'm starting with like 60 bullets in my assault rifle, and if I want to go grab some ammo, then I only get 30 bullets. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of infected killing when there is like, what, 15 infected trying to murder me at once? The game mode goes up to 16 players and there's no way you're going to have enough ammo leading up. Now, this might be by design, so you are also going to use different weapons, but when you're stuck with a revolver and there's 3 zombies attacking you, there's really not that much chance of you actually being able to survive that. Drop Dead 2, which is the second map out of the bunch, is in my opinion like way too cluttered, and the chance of you just being able to jump on one of the cars or even higher than that as the shooters might very much become a problem too, because, well, while you're not able to climb as the shooters, the infected definitely are able to do so, but who's stopping you from having like an entire team standing on a bunch of vans and just mowing everything down? Naturally, this is what Rockstar wanted to prevent from happening. If they wanted to, then they would have allowed you to climb those objects to begin with, because the entire game mode doesn't allow you to climb on any objects, which in my opinion is a pretty fair way of going about it and keeps it a little bit more fair for those infected. There are some spots though that I've noticed, especially in the third map, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the one at the foundry, where you're able to get on a ladder, and if you get a bunch of people up there, then, well, I guess kind of good luck to the infected. Obviously it's possible, because at some point there are so many infected that you can keep shooting as much as you like, but you either run out of ammo or you run out of people to shoot them with, because eventually you're gonna get punched. The infected don't seem to be affected too much by headshots, so they are rather tanky. And I've had a situation where I was trying to melee slap them. It wasn't really happening a whole lot. Yeah, it was just a bit of meh, I suppose. But overall, it's okay. But yeah, the ammo is definitely the major thing. I'd even argue for having the infected have a little less health, so the round can go on for a little bit longer. Because honestly, all these game modes, the rounds are over so quickly, and I honestly would love to see this last a little longer and being a little bit more intense, especially with the fact that the infected can run faster, can climb, and they already have a bunch of advantages. So maybe, giving the shooting team a bit more of a fighting chance would preferably be nice. Damned and Lost is a game mode where you're basically just stuck in a maze with your fellow other folks, and you're basically going to be stuck in first person, though you do have the option to go in third person. But I'm going to be completely honest here, I think you definitely should play this in first person for the full immersion and basically playing the game mode as intended. Because basically all you need to do is you have 3 lives, or however many that the host sets, and then it's going to be your objective to do nothing but survive. Now, the concept of this is very cool, especially with the music that is playing in the background. It's definitely like the vibe of it all is pretty cool, but with a game mode that is meant for 16 players, obviously the maps have to accommodate for it as well, and this is kind of where I'm starting to get some issues. The problem with the fact that the maps are as big as they are is that you start running into an issue where it's turning into a search forever game mode, and some people are adjusting to that, where they're just basically going to wait until someone walks past them. You can't really blame them, but especially when lobbies in GTA Online tend to not really be full, or people just leaving, or, well, I could go on forever about how I feel about the matchmaking, but I've already done that, so I'll spare you that rant again. But I would say that like an 8 players or maybe 12 at most would have been better. Make the map like a lot smaller, like the third map is, which is a lot better size. And then, you know, that will definitely help with the pace, especially as the match goes on. Because you have to keep in mind, you might start with 16 players who all have 3 lives, but eventually there's going to be that 4 players left, or even that 2 players left, and well, that's gonna take a while until you're gonna fight each other in a map that is basically the size of a regular deathmatch map. And finally, Suck It Up. The game mode is by far the worst one out of the bunch. The whole concept here is you are going to run around, and as you're running around, you will lose health, and the only way to gain your health back is by doing damage to your enemies. Obviously, you can still take damage, but it becomes this weird balancing act where if you do damage, you'll get health back, and if you kill someone, you get full health. But then as you're shooting each other, it kind of becomes a point of where someone who has the most powerful weapon or can outmaneuver each other will end up being the winner. Which, with the amount of health that you have, I started to wonder if I was playing a deathmatch in GTA or if I was fighting a raid boss in Destiny 2. Because the amount of time it takes to kill someone is really long, and honestly, especially on console with lock-on aim, where the strategy basically becomes to start rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, becomes incredibly mundane and incredibly annoying and just really long-winded and boring in my opinion. This doesn't get helped by the fact that there is one particular SMG with hollow point rounds, of which there are 2 in the match that you can pick up for 16 people at most. And guess what? This hollow point round SMG is far superior above everything else. You can have your assault rifle or anything that you like, or even shoot me with a shotgun. You are not going to beat me while I mow you down with 20 bullets of a hollow point round SMG. Now, you won't be able to kill someone in those 20 rounds. No, you will have to go for a reload. But the difference in damage, especially because most of these gunfights are going to be close quarters, is so fast that they could literally stand across from each other, and if I have this SMG in my hand, I will win the gunfight. So that is what we call gross imbalance. That SMG, if this game mode wants to have any chance of being balanced and having a fair fight, and well, aside from the obvious third wheeling that constantly goes on, that thing has gotta go. Because there's also other weapons around the map, which is the precision rifle and the pump shotgun Mark II, with rounds that are good against armor, even though no one has armor, so that's utterly pointless. But then there's the SMG, which just really ruins everything. So my suggestions to improve the mode would first and foremost be to remove the SMG. Secondly, on console especially, remove the rolling so you actually can like fight each other instead of basically constantly pressing whatever button you use to roll. And then finally also cut the health that everyone has by at least 25% so that it becomes a bit more competitive rather than just this giant Destiny 2 raid boss you're constantly fighting with each other. And that might also help with the third wheeling and just a variety of other things, because the gunfights won't take as long. So yeah, another round of GTA Online game modes with a lot of flaws that I don't think is ever going to get fixed. I'd say that if there is a game mode that is worth checking out, Drop Dead is probably the most interesting one out of the bunch. Damned and Lost, I'm not entirely sure, especially with the matchmaking of GTA Online, probably not giving you a full lobby. Yeah, it's a rough one, sadly. They aren't quite it. I hope that Rockstar will find some time to try to see if they can fix these modes, but considering the fact that there are limited time modes available for a few weeks, I highly doubt this is going to happen. I just really had hope that they were going to be on similar quality of Assault on Puerto Rico, but sadly, that is not the case. Anyways, if you agree or disagree with me, of course, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and become a member like Chloe, GTA Plus, and Notorious Jam. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.